Welcome, everyone. It is Monday, December 20th of 2021. It is 5:15, and the Carroll City Council meeting shall now commence. Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. The next item on the agenda is the recognition of appreciation of service, and I'll just go down front there. Tonight we have the retirement of several council and the mayor, and we have an award for each one of the retiring council people. And the first one I'd like to present is Clay Haley. Please step forward, please. On behalf of the city of Carroll, Clay, I appreciate your years of service and dedication to the community. And thanks again.
Thank you,
Mayor. Sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Here, let's put that up.
The next individual I need to call forward is Mike Cox. Step forward, please. On behalf of the city of Carroll, I appreciate your years of service, Mike. Thanks again for serving and doing a good job. Appreciate it all the time and stuff we've done together. Thanks again.
You bet.
Move my way.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
And finally, Jerry Fleshner, please. Jerry, on behalf of the city of Carroll, again, appreciate your years of service and dedication to the community, and best of luck in the future.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thanks. Okay, now,
Oh,
Carroll,
I'll wait here.
you get to trade with me. Dr. Eric Jensen, congratulations to you on all your service. I believe you were here for 4 years in the city council.
Yeah.
6 years as mayor. That's a big part of your life to dedicate to service like this. So everyone appreciates that too.
Thank you again,
All right.
Jerry.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
You bet.
I was going to say that 10 years was half of his adult life. But
Just getting off my train.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'll take care of that.
Yeah. Please note everyone is in attendance. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda, which is approval of bills and claims, approval of the minutes of the December 13th meeting, and we have no licenses or permits this evening. If there's any discussion on the consent agenda, if not, I'll look for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
There's a motion and a second. If there's no other discussion, we'll go ahead and vote, please.
Dirks?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Cots?
Yes.
Haley?
Yes.
Fleshner?
Yes.
Base? Yes. Motion is approved.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is oral requests and communications from the audience for items that are not on the agenda. So if there's anybody online, you'll have to unmute your mic. Seeing none. The next item is under ordinances. And this evening we have the 2021 redistricting of City of Carroll council wards. And Laura, when you're ready, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The council has been discussing this for a couple meetings now. And the last council meeting, we actually held a public hearing that was required to look at the changing of the wards. So here is a map of the whole picture of the city as the way the wards are set out currently today. This is zeroed in to the area that staff has recommended council take a look at making a change. This is the way it currently is. With the shift in the population due to the 2020 census, staff recommended considering moving the census tracts of 43 and 42, which were in red, now are in the green shown here. The public hearing last meeting, we had one individual that had made a comment, but nothing, I guess, to sway not making that change. And then also tonight before you is a resolution to work with the county to include our Ward 2 and Ward 3 with the county's Maple River Township as a voting precinct, which is currently the way it is today. The county did discuss it this morning at their board meeting, and it was approved. The county did approve it, so we're asking council to approve the resolution to make that change as well, or to allow for that to continue as the way it currently is, with just a slight change in population for the Maple River Township. And then finally, the other item for discussion and consideration tonight is the ordinances. Tonight's second reading. We would request council to approve the second reading and then waive the third reading and finally adopt the ordinance as presented with the change that was been discussed here the last couple. Are there any questions of council on the items before you?
I'd move to approve the city-county precinct agreement.
There's a motion and a second on the approval of the city-county precinct agreement. If there's no other discussion, we'll go ahead and vote, please.
Fleshner?
Yes.
Cots?
Yes.
Dirks?
Yes.
Base? Yes. Seaman?
Yes.
Haley?
Yes.
Resolution is approved.
Move to approve the second reading, waive the third reading of the ordinance amending city code by amending provisions pertaining to ward boundaries and voting precincts.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. If there's no other discussion, we'll go ahead and vote, please.
Base? Yes. Haley?
Yes.
Dirks?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Fleshner?
Yes.
Cots?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Move to adopt.
Second.
There's a motion and a second for the adoption. If there's no other discussion, we'll go ahead and vote, please.
Seaman?
Yes.
Base? Yes. Dirks?
Yes.
Fleshner?
Yes.
Cots?
Yes.
Haley?
Yes.
Ordinance is adopted.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is under resolutions, and it's the Carroll Recreation Center Building Improvements Project. And Mike, please. Oh, let's see. It is 5:23, and we shall open a public hearing.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. On December 8th of this year, plan specification, form of contract, and estimated costs for the Carroll Recreation Center building improvement projects were filed by RDG Planning and Design. The plan specification, form of contract, and estimated cost are generally described as follows. The plans detail the renovation and addition to the existing Carroll Recreation Center of approximately 33,000 square feet of renovation and 18,000 square feet of addition on 2 levels, including a full court gymnasium addition with a second floor suspended jogging track, storage room additions, cardio and circulation additions, multi-purpose room renovations, locker room renovations that include new office space, wet classroom, lifeguard office, and individual family changing rooms. The specifications were further detailed for the construction facility, and specifications include the American Institute of Architects documents and master spec technical specifications. The form of contract for this project would be an AIA document A101-2017. I'm going to pause for a second. I sent an updated PowerPoint out. Can you pull that up? She'll get it off my email here in a second, but we'll need that in a second. But estimated cost for this project for construction of the Carroll Recreation Center project improvements includes a total estimated construction cost of $6.7 million. This is based on the construction cost, the total current project cost with survey, geo permits, FF&E, design expense, miscellaneous, and construction contingency is projected. The total cost will be $7,751,036. Funding for the project is anticipated. Total funding available is $7,627,000. Now, while the projected project is over its cost estimate by $124,036, this project is still carrying a 2.5% design contingency of $156,502. The project's schedule at this point, bids would be received February 1st of 2022. And if the project proceeds forward, construction completion would be May 1st of 2023. And I'm just going to can I grab the mouse from you, Laura, for this? I'm just going to go through a few quick slides. So this is the current layout of the Carroll Rec Center facility. So you have your gymnasium, locker rooms. The yellow areas are the corridors, and then the natatorium for the pool deck is there. Next slide, please. So this project involves an addition of the third gymnasium there, would be renovating the locker room areas. There would be 4 family change rooms. The women's locker room would be renovated along with the men's locker room being renovated. There'd be an addition of a new wet classroom, a storage area, a new lifeguard area, a community area would remain. Entry, kind of the control desk would be relocated to more to the west side near the theater. The idea behind that is kind of control the facility a little bit better than what we do today. And then the multi-purpose room and fitness room would be renovated as part of this. The existing, there's a fixed wall between the 2 spaces that would be removed. There'd be the ability to have a folding accordion style wall there, so it can open up. We do have a number of our fitness classes that currently overflows, and so giving the ability to have one fitness room would be nice. And additionally, just having that wall be able to go back up, you could have different meeting rooms that occur in those spaces. So that's an overview. Next slide, please. Additionally, there would be a raised walking track as part of this. There would be an elevator to be able to access that. From the existing cardio fitness room, there would be access to the jogging track, and this would be a 1/10 of the mile. Next slide, please. And this shows kind of greater detail of that multi-purpose room redesign that's proposed there. Pretty minimal, but it is a redesign nonetheless. Next slide, please. This is detailing out then the locker rooms here. You can, starting on the west side, women's locker room area would be renovated, new lockers, new individual stalls. You'd have then 4 family change rooms. We do see a lot of usage where there's actually people waiting to use those facilities, so we'll be doubling the number there with this project. Additionally, there'd be actually a climate controlled area. Today, you just walk into the community space and people are waiting here to use those rooms. It's not very conducive. Then you have a dedicated guard room there, and then a wet classroom. The nice thing about this is if there's parties and events, people can rent this. Additionally, we have a lot of teaching times with lifeguard classes, swim classes. There's a dedicated space that can be used outside the pool deck where it's a little bit quieter, a little bit more conducive for those type of activities. And then the men's change room. The nice thing about here, unlike the current locker rooms for the men's side, the women's side have individual stalls today. The men's today have game showers. They would go to individual shower stalls, and then new locker rooms. Next slide, please. Some important dates going forward. There'll be a pre-bid meeting scheduled for January 6th at 2 p.m. at the Carroll Rec Center. Bid opening for the project is February 1st of 2022 at 2 p.m. here at City Hall. And then the City Council would consider these at either the February 14th or February 28th meeting on how to proceed forward once bids are received. The recommendation tonight is the Mayor and Council to conduct the required public hearing and consider adoption of the plan specification, form of contract, and estimated cost for the Carroll Recreation Center Building Improvement Project 2021. And I would note that Al Oberlander from RDG is on the Zoom call tonight and is available to answer any questions the council may have. With that, thank you.
Are there any questions from the, since this is a public hearing, are there any questions from the public? Any questions from the council? I know we've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah, I've just got the one. The, for the funding that's anticipated, there's $1 million in there for lost collections. Is that the money that we've been putting away the last couple of years?
Correct. That's dollars that's set aside and available for the project today.
That's what I was thinking. I just want to double check.
Now, I would note some of that's been expended on architectural fees. So that full $1 million is not there today. We've expended a little over $400,000 in architectural fees at this point.
When the bids come back, I'd like to see a breakdown of that one exercise room that you were talking about that's at the west end, separate from all the others.
Well, it's a lump sum bid, so there won't be no availability to do that.
That's not one of those add-ons.
It's not an alternate,
Or
no.
alternate, because we were talking about a couple different ideas over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they would not be able to give me an estimate on what it's gonna cost to renovate that section.
No, and I don't know, Al, if you have any input, but the way the bidding is, it would not have that available.
Yeah, this is Al Oberlander with RDG Planning and Design, and it is not broken out in our bid form right now. We have not asked contractors to give us a separate price on that, so it's just lumped in, as Mike indicated, with everything else.
I was hoping that'd be.
Well, I know when we were originally talking about it, there were some alternates to that. I think that would have broken it out then, probably.
Well, and we had some discussions a few months ago that, that we took some components out through that, but I at that point, there was no indication of trying to parse out the project any further, so we did not take that direction.
Yeah, Gene, I'm sorry. Come on up here by the microphone and
I'm looking at
Give
the
give us your name and everything.
women's shower room. It appears to me that we're losing, like, what do we have now for showers in the women's showers? Do you know? We have 10, and what are we gonna have now? I was trying to count. Looks like 7 to
1,
me.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And what I wanted to say about that is, in the class that I attend, the swim class, we'll have 20 ladies there. We make it work, but this is gonna cut it down some more from what we had.
And one thing I would also point out, while it's a little different, today we have 2 family change rooms. So there'll be 2 additional ones. So from that perspective, there won't be, some people could use those during those morning classes because they're really not used. Those family change rooms aren't used. So that'd be one alternative.
That would be one alternative, but it's something to keep in mind when you're doing this because they are used 3 times a week.
Yeah.
thank you. These will be individual stalls then?
They are individual stalls, and that's what is there today is individual
Individual
stalls.
stalls. Yeah, that was a couple of years or so ago we went through all that. Are there any other questions for Mike or for Al? Any other questions from the public? It is 5:35 and we'll close the public hearing. And if there's no other questions, I'll look for motion to adopt the plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost for the Carroll Recreation Center Building Improvements Project for 2021.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. There's no other discussion. We'll go ahead and vote, please.
Seaman?
Yes.
Stace? Yes. Dirks?
Yes.
Cots?
Yes.
Haley?
Yes.
Fleshner?
Yes.
Resolution is approved.
Thank you, Al.
Cool, yeah. Oh, thanks, Al. Appreciate your time. The next item under resolutions is the Merchant Park lease, Carroll Merchants Baseball 2022. And Mike, please.
Thank you, Mayor. There's two items here tonight. First is the baseball stadium lease with Carroll Merchants. And the second is a resolution. It's agreement between the city of Carroll and Carroll Merchants Baseball. So I'll go through those. So Carroll Merchants is planning to return to Merchant Stadium for the 2022 season after being off for 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Additionally, the Carroll Merchants Baseball Club has the opportunity to join the Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas Mink League, Summer Collegiate Baseball League as an expansion baseball team. The Mink League Baseball League is a summer collegiate baseball league that operates 8 teams throughout the Midwest. For the 2022 season, the Carroll Merchants baseball team plans to play 21 home games at Merchant Stadium. In the past, the games were very well attended and from staff's perspective, ran very smoothly. Staff does not see an issue with Carroll Merchants' continued use of the Merchant Stadium for their game. Attached with the resolution and memo was a leased agreement. This is very similar to previous agreements that the city's had with Carroll Merchants. There is a few changes. The major change would be regarding the scheduling of Merchant Stadium. Under previous agreements, Kemper High School and the Carroll High School had priority status for all games and practices. In the event of a rescheduled game of the high schools, they could bump the Carroll Merchants from the stadium. With the Merchants now in the Mink League, and due to the travel involved with the visiting teams, this has been changed. And under the agreement, the 2 high schools receive priority scheduling prior to November 1st. And then after November 1st, the Carroll Merchants can schedule their games for the season on available dates. During the seasons, if the Merchants or high schools have a game that needs to be rescheduled, then the game can be rescheduled on other available open days on a first come, first served basis, and they would schedule that with the Carroll Park and Rec director. So that's the major change in the agreement. Otherwise, the change of the agreement overall is remained unchanged. Finally, with the Carroll Merchants joining the Mink League, the Carroll Merchants have requested the city provide $10,000 in funding to the Carroll Merchants Baseball Club in order to pay a one-time Mink League entry fee. If the council would choose to provide such funding, the benefit of the city would be an increase in our hotel, motel stay, and other economic benefits received with the Mink League and their teams, coaches, fans, and families visiting the Carroll community. Unless there's any questions, staff is recommending mayor and city council consider approval of the attached agreements and resolutions with the Carroll Merchants Baseball Club. I'll be happy to answer any questions council has this evening.
I got one for Chris out there. The last time this was renovated, how much of that was donated money?
The Carroll Athletic Association raised
Hey,
about.
Chris, come on, I'm sorry. Come on up here by the microphones. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I can't, so the public can hear you. That's
They don't
an
hear me.
interesting stat, yeah.
I guess Chris Whitaker, I'm part of the Carroll Merchants Baseball Club. When the stadium was renovated, the Carroll Athletic Association, really the founding arm of the Carroll Merchants Baseball Club, raised about $400,000 privately to go towards those renovations. That total renovation was just shy of $1 million once the project was completed.
So your attendance through the previous games you've had there, what about an average per game? What do you run?
2019, the last year we were in full operation, average attendance was 550.
Okay.
And Laverne, that had continued to grow from probably in the low to mid 200s to 550 that 4th year of operations.
So that's more than double than a high school game. Pretty well. And then you expect this because it's better baseball, you probably get better attendance.
You know, the Mink League has been around for over 100 years. That's a well-established, more professional team or more professional league. Ozzie Smith played with the Cleveland A's back in the day. So the caliber of baseball we anticipate will be higher. Along with that caliber of baseball, the expenses will also be higher too. So it's a big step for us, but it's a step for the long term for the Merchants, and hopefully the Mink League will be great partners, and we'll see this continue into the future. So
Thank you. I'm trying to justify the 10,000.
Hey, Chris, just as a follow-on question, that 400,000, if I remember, we used prison labor up there too and stuff. Do you remember what kind of cost savings that was to renovate that, just ballpark?
Mike, after, to be honest, that would be a guess and a total shot in the dark what
Okay.
was labor saved.
No problem.
So,
This one came out of left field.
Yeah, no, that's, yeah, it did, so. That was an educational and interesting process, let me tell you, so.
Yeah. No, I just remember there's quite a cost savings with that, with you guys just thinking outside the box and getting prison labor up there to help break out the old concrete and such, so.
That was, like I said, that was a very interesting process and very, not a very fun job for the prison labor.
No, not at all.
Chris, how many games did you play, did the other league play relative to this? Is this an anticipation of more games in town, or?
Correct. We played between 17 and 20 home games.
Right.
When we were in the Pioneer League, this will be 21. If merchants are lucky enough to get to the playoffs, there'll be additional games.
As far as the scheduling goes, I was just curious, without bumping things back and forth, if we end up having state here, will that be okay?
So we've blocked off the state baseball period.
If you'd like to go on a nice road trip to follow the merchants in late July, I think we leave on that Sunday and go to Chillicothe and then go to Jefferson City and the job when they come back and end up in St. Joe. It'll be a wonderful trip through Missouri to watch some good baseball. But you would potentially miss state baseball.
Right.
That sounds like a WinStar trip you need to get going.
I'm not in the tour business, so.
That's his merchant tour.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Chris, I want to thank you and John back there too, that you both put in so much work for that, and other people too.
That is a
Your
great group.
representatives that are here tonight.
John's with me, but thank you so much. It's fun.
I mean, even that expedition league that you had this summer, there was a lot of people down there for that too, quite a bit.
I want to just add to what Chris was saying too.
John, sorry, come on up.
Should have gone up there when you were up. No, that, obviously the whole league is much bigger and geographically more spread out, but one of the key points that Mike brought up is that teams will be traveling quite a distance and staying in Carroll, which is completely different than the Pioneer League. They drove into town, they drove out of town. So we are going to be bringing people that will be staying in Carroll several times during the summer, so that was all.
Are you guys gonna have, do you need housing for, like what you had done in the past
Yes.
for these players too?
Our roster grows from 25 now to 35 because we're playing so many games, we'll have more pitchers. And again, the caliber of pitchers, they'll be put on pitch counts, so as Chris will attest to, the game changes literally for us. I mean, it blossoms not just budget-wise, but work-wise. It's a big undertaking, but I think it's a great next step for us.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Yep. Are there any other questions from the council? If not, I'll need a motion to approve the lease agreement of Merchants Park for the 2022 baseball season.
So moved. Second.
There's a motion and a second. There's no other discussion. We'll go and vote, please.
Fleshner,
Yes.
Dirks.
Yes.
Haley.
Yes.
Cots.
Yes.
Base. Yes. Seaman.
Yes.
Resolution is approved.
And then I'll need a motion to approve funding for the Carroll Merchants Baseball Club to pay the one-time Mink League entrance fee of $10,000.
So moved. Second.
There's a motion and a second. There's no other discussion. We'll go and vote, please.
Seaman.
Yes.
Haley.
Yes.
Cots.
Yes.
Fleshner.
Yes.
Dirks.
Yes.
Base. Yes. Resolution is approved.
Thank you. The next item under resolutions is termination of the concession stand lease. And Mike, please.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The city of Carroll entered into a concession stand lease with Gary McGill of Carroll to operate the concession stand at Merchants Park back in May of 2007. By mutual agreement between both parties, some parts of this agreement have not been followed for a number of years, and the agreement thus should be amended just to clarify those areas. Additionally, with the Carroll Merchants Baseball Club now joining the Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas Maine Summer Collegiate Baseball League, the Carroll Merchants Baseball Club has indicated a need to receive some revenue from the operation of the concession stand during games in order to fund and operate the teams itself. Staff has begun very initial discussions with Mr. McGill about amending the lease. And since the lease is set to automatically renew on December 31st of each year, the lease at this point should be terminated to allow negotiations to continue. So unless there's any questions, staff recommends mayor and the city council consider a resolution terminating the concession stand lease with Mr. Gary McGill of Carroll. Be happy to answer any questions council has today.
That's been a very good working relationship, has it not?
It has.
Very good. Just need more time.
But if we don't cancel it, it automatically renews and then you're, yeah. I mean, I don't want it. It's not that we're having bad service, it's just to negotiate so we can get this stuff going with the other issues.
And if it wasn't for the auto renewal, it wouldn't even be an issue with it.
Correct. Are there any other discussions for Mike, or any other questions for Mike? If not, I'll look for a motion to terminate the concession stand lease agreement with Gary McGill of Carroll.
So moved. Second.
There's a motion and a second. There's no other discussion. We'll go and vote, please.
Cox,
Yes.
Seaman, Dirks,
Yes.
Haley,
Yes.
Base, Fleischman.
Yes.
Resolution is approved.
Thank you. The next item under the agenda is reports, and it's the waiving of the purchase policy number 0501 for the purchase of Cybex treadmills. And Chad, please.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. At the December 13th City Council meeting, the question was asked if staff looked at the Sourcewell contract to purchase these treadmills. Sourcewell is a cooperative purchasing group that the city has used in the past to purchase various equipment. Sourcewell currently has a contract with Life Fitness for Cybex treadmills. Staff inquired on the availability of using the Sourcewell contract and was informed that the Sourcewell contract does not provide any discounts other than it provides an additional warranty at no additional cost. However, the equipment discount they offered to the city in the original quote would be reduced by the cost of the warranty. This would result in an increased cost to the city of $2,630.54. Staff does not see the need for the additional warranty and recommends that the city proceed with the original quote. Our recommendation is the city council approve of waiving purchasing policy number 501 to purchase 4 Cybex R series treadmills for the purchase price of $23,651.74.
I want to thank you very much for taking the time to research that and make sure we weren't leaving money on the table. Thank you.
Just remind me, are we replacing some or are we just adding 2?
Correct.
Replacing?
Please.
Replacing.
So will the other 4 are they being traded or sold or?
They were traded in.
They were?
Any other questions for Chad? If not, I will look for a motion to approve the waiving of purchasing policy number 0501 to purchase the 4 Cybex R series treadmills for the purchase price of $23,651.74.
60.
I got some. No, I got 70.
Builder says it's only dime.
Yeah, the quote, I know, the quote says 64.
Okay. Well, I will go off of that one then instead. Waive purchasing policy number 0501 to purchase the 4 Cybex R series treadmills for the purchase price of $23,651.64.
So moved.
Thank you, sir. There's a motion and a second. There's no other discussion. Go ahead and vote, please.
Base?
Yes.
Fleischman?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Dirks?
Yes.
Haley?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Thank you. I trust everyone's read the committee reports. My only comment this evening is I'd like to take the opportunity to thank all the people of the city of Carroll for allowing me the privilege to serve as their mayor and serve on the city council for the last 10 years. It's been a privilege and honor to what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think now. So verklempt to represent the community, and that's all the good things that they have to offer. And I'd like to take the time to thank all the staff. The city staff of Carroll that I've got to know over the last 10 years have done an outstanding job, and they keep continuing to do so. And thanks again, appreciate it. So, any comments from the city council? Comments from the city manager?
This evening. Thank you.
Look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
There's a motion and a second. We'll go ahead and vote, please.
Cox,
Yes.
Haley,
Yes.
Dirks,
Yes.
Flusher.
No.
Okay. We are adjourned.